Okay, in this classroom, there's 3 ways you can win. Number 1, get the other king. Get the opposite king. Number 2, get your pawn to the opposite side. Any pawn. And the third one is by points. So at the end of the round, we count up how many pieces we have. And if pawns count for 1 point. So if you end up with more pawns than the other person, you would win. That's at the end of the round. If you finish a game before the end of the round, you get stamped and that counts as a win. But then just go ahead and play another game. You may be able to play 2 or 3 games within a round. Okay, now let's talk about the pawns. The pawns can only move forward. They can only move 1 or 2 spaces off the starting line. Wherever they start, they can move 1 or 2 spaces. They can attack diagonally, only diagonally. And if you get one to the other side, you win the game. So let's see how they move. Now a pawn normally just moves straight. That's all it does, it moves straight. And if you can get it to the other side, you win the game. All right? Now, but again, off the starting line, you can move 1 or you can move 2 spaces. And that goes for every single one. So let's say I move this 2 spaces. And again, I'm going to refer to this as being black, and this is white, even though it's brown and yellow. Okay, so this one, let's say I move 2 spaces. This one I can move 1 or 2 spaces, doesn't matter. Same thing here. 1 or 2 spaces. I'm going to move it 2 spaces. Now, this is interesting here because if they're facing each other, they cannot attack each other. They're stuck there. They're basically like in a traffic jam. They cannot go around the person. They don't jump over the person. They're stuck. Okay, so let's say now it's black's turn and they move here. Now it's white's turn. They move, let's say they move here. They could move 1 or 2 spaces. Let's say I move here. Okay, now this is where black can attack. See, it cannot move, this piece cannot go, it can't go sideways, it cannot go backwards, and it can't go forward because it's stuck. However, it can attack diagonally. That's how it captures people, is by going diagonally. Just 1 space though, only 1 space. All right, now it's white's turn. So they move here. Now it's black's turn. They move here. White's turn. They move here. Okay, that's not probably a very good move, is it? Because now this black one right here, he could bypass it or he could attack it and take it. But then this one would take it. Okay, so now it's black's turn. Hey, you know what? Black's not a dummy. He's going to move down here. Then it's white's turn. Then it's black's turn. Guess what? They won the game. If you can make it to the other side of the board with a pawn, you win the game in this classroom. So remember, pawns can go 1 or 2 spaces off the starting line. Okay, and your goal is to get to the other side. So if it's white's turn next, you move here, next, here, next, here. Now remember, they cannot go sideways or they cannot go backwards. They only can go forward. And they can't go diagonal unless they're attacking. So then here, excuse me, and then here, and bingo, they win the game. Okay, let's say now it is white's turn. And white moves here. Okay, now it's black's turn. Black can then take this piece. Now, this is not checkers. You cannot just, you don't jump over and take the piece. That's not how it works. No one's jumping here. You just slide over and take it. Now, it could take it, or it could just go here. That's the only option it has. It cannot go sideways. It cannot go backwards. And it cannot even go over here, because there's nothing to take here. Okay, so it has 2 choices. Take it, or just go past it. That's what choices it has. Now this is kind of an interesting setup here, because these pawns, you see how they're backing up their own men? So in case one gets taken, the other one can back it up. This formation right here, so this like they're charging right up through the middle. And the black right here looks like they're charging this way. So keep that in mind. You want to always back up one of your people as you move them, one of your pawns. Okay, let's talk about the kings. The kings can move one space any direction. Now, first of all, the kings don't start off here. They start off on the back row. They're on the E, because the king is everything. That's how you remember it. The king is everything. So it's on the E. All right, and what it will do is it moves one space any direction. So for example, I can move here, 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 there, there, but only one space. Only one space. So let's say it's white's turn. I move here, black. Here's white's turn. See, I can move one space any direction. All right, and in this game that we're playing, a king can attack a king, but you know what? So you don't want to get close to a king because then it'll get you. Okay, it can grab anything one space. So let's say I go here, this king goes over here. Now this one, maybe this one's going to run for the back row. So it makes it over there. Big deal. You didn't win the game. It's only if you get a pawn to the other side do you win the game. Not a king. No, that's not the way it's played. The way it's played is if you capture the king, if you attack the king, then you would win the game. For example, let's just say this guy was a total ID 10T, all right? And he moves right there. Well, then this one would just take it. Bingo, they win the game. They won. So this is how we start off, and most students are very reluctant to move anything. They just move one little piece. Hey, be aggressive. You're going to lose. Everybody loses in chess, and then you win some. That's how you learn. So let's say you move this up one. You may want to move this one up one. If they copy you, fine. Let them copy you. So let's say they move this guy, and this one moves this one here. Fine. Put this guy here. Maybe they move this one here. Then it's your turn. Move this one here. It looks like these guys are stuck. You see that? Then maybe this one moves out this. You move this out here. Now, don't forget about the king. You can move the king around. See that? You can move him around. So let's say now it's black's turn. Let's say they move here. White's turn. Now watch this. See that? I'm going to move this king out there. You can do that. It's black's turn. Let's say they move here. I move this there. They move this here. Oh, that was foolish because I'm just going to take it. See that? Now, I would not, with this king, don't take this piece because then they're going to take you and win the game. So don't do that. So maybe you take this piece. Okay, now it's their turn. Maybe they move here. Now it's your turn. Oh, you know what? Just take that piece with your king. Remember, the king can go one space any direction. So do not be afraid of moving the king around at first. Later on, you want to be reluctant. But right now, use it. It's powerful. Okay, now we want to talk about these castles. But actually we have another name for that in chess. And it's called rook. R-O-O-K, rook. Okay, but you can call it castle or rook. It doesn't really matter. Now, these ones, they move differently, and what they'll do is they can go forward and backwards as many spaces that's open. And they can go sideways also, but they don't go diagonally. That's what they do not do. They only go up and down and sideways. So for example, if I have a rook here, and here's a pawn, this rook can slide all the way over. Now it could go here, here, or it could slide over and take that piece. That's how it captures. It basically just takes its position. Now, you cannot just mow it over. Okay, you can't just say, well, I'll get this one and this one. That's not the way it works. When you stop at what you take. Okay? Now, so again, if there was another piece in there, like so, and this is here, you cannot take both of them. You'd only take this first one. But you know what? This one can't do anything to you. So you're safe. However, if it was, let's just say that this one is here, and this one was there, and you slid over and took it, then this one would take you. That's bad. Because a rook, look down there, it's 5 points. 5 points, that's a lot. Okay, so here's how it's set up with our rooks. Whoops, missing one rook. Right there. Okay, see how they're facing each other? Even the kings are facing each other. King is everything. Okay, so let's say we start off. Again, don't be too reluctant to move. Just get your pieces out there. Get your pieces out there. Get them moving. You may want to, whatever you want to do. Okay, but get them out. All right, now you cannot jump over your own people. You have to move the people out of the way to get these rooks out. Okay, so now let's say it's white's turn. Let's say I move there. Now watch this. This castle may move right there, the rook. Okay, now this guy may move right here. Okay, now it's black's turn. Look at this. They're going to take that. Oh, wait a minute. Look at that. Would be a bad move because now this one's going to get it. Now it's black's turn. Watch this. Black can slide all the way down. Don't stop there. Okay, you could, if you want to, go right here. All right, now it's white's turn. They're getting kind of nervous. So maybe they move up one. No problem. This one slides over. Bam, takes that one. Uh-oh, look at that. If this doesn't move, this castle, this rook is going to take it. So it probably better move over. Maybe move over one space. Okay, so do you see that's what you got to keep on. Now then maybe this one will move here. That would be dumb because now this king could just take it. Did it win the game? No. You only win the game if you get a pawn to the other side or you capture the king. That's the only time you win.